What a game that was. Whoa. Sports Snippets, Dennis Sullivan here on a Saturday the 9th of January. When I woke up this morning, there's no way I had planned to do a video of the Colts Bills playoff matchup, but after trying to walk away from this game, after trying to do some stuff that I would normally do on a Saturday, I just couldn't pull myself away from the television. And then I'm sitting here sometime around halftime into the early part of the third quarter, and I'm saying, you know what? Wait a second. I got to do a video now of this game. This is too good. So here we are, from a Dolphin fan, giving you the analysis of a Indianapolis Colts Buffalo Bill Classic playoff game, by the way, guys. If you do like the content of this particular video, go ahead, hit that like button. I really appreciate it. It certainly does help the channel. And go ahead, subscribe to Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan if you'd like to do so as well. That would be awesome. So let's start talking about this game, guys. Whoa, this was a good matchup. And you know what I was saying mainly to myself, but I mean, I had said on a video a couple of weeks ago that the sleeper team in the AFC, and I believe this still now, well, I can't really believe it now because their season's over, that would be the Indianapolis Colts. This team had sleeper written all over it. They just had that extra factor. Let me try to explain it. You know, I've seen this before with the young running back getting hot, and they certainly had that coming into this game. And Jonathan Taylor, you had the awesome career of Phillip Rivers. I mean, he played well this whole season, pretty much. I mean, he played well this afternoon. T.Y. Hilton was healthy again. Coach Reich doing a strong job for the Colts. But you know what, guys? It just wasn't enough. Either team could have won this game. But really good coaching matchup. Reich against Sean McDermott. I mean, those are two really good coaches there in the NFL. When all was said and done, it was Josh Allen, the same guy that came in as the focal point, would leave the game as the star, of course, the focal point. He doesn't just do it with his arm today. He does it with his legs as well. He gains over 50 yards on the ground, and that was pretty impressive in a 27-24 classic where the Bills will now advance. The way I understand that, if I'm not mistaken, they will most likely, they're taking on the winner of Steelers-Colts. Correct me if I'm wrong, please, in the comments. I believe that is what I heard at the end of the telecast. And then, of course, the Chiefs will get into the mix, the Kansas City Chiefs, in the next round as they had the bye. This is now the first season of 7 seeds, so this was a 2-7 matchup. The Colts is as good of a 7 seed as you'll ever see, in my humble opinion. I think that before I get into the breakdown of this game, I want to talk a little bit of the productivity, how it worked out with the stats, things like that. The key to me, though, in this contest, the key segment of the game were the closing moments of the first half and just the events that took place. Now, we can say, why didn't the Colts, it's easy to say this now, why didn't the Colts kick the field goal there on 4th and goal instead of going for it? But you know what? You go back to that part of the game, guys. Colts were moving the ball. They had the confidence in their ability to convert that. They only needed that just short distance inside the 5. But of course, the pass would fall incomplete in the end zone. Buffalo takes over, and then the second part of that turn of events, right before the closing moments of the half, go right down the field and wind up scoring a touchdown. That was not an interception. They had played that back a few times with what looked like at first interception by the Colt defender, but it wasn't. Bills retained possession and went in and scored, and then, of course, went up 14-10. And really, was that the whole game? No, but that was a key sequence there, guys. That was a key series of events. That little swing there was what did it. Because I'm telling you right now, you just look at this on paper and you're like, the Colts might have won the game, actually. But it was very evenly played, very, very good football, very good playoff football, guys. If you're a Colt fan sitting at home there, you have everything to look forward to next year. You got a good running back going into his second season. Interesting. It'll be interesting to see where they go in the draft. Would like to hear about that in the comments. Who you think the Colts will go for? What positions are they looking at in the first couple of rounds, say 2-3 rounds of the NFL draft? And I tell you what, that was something else. That was something else. And to think about it too, guys, if the Buffalo defense, for whatever reason, slacked or made a bad adjustment or missed assignment at the end, if any of those things happen, I mean, any little tweak in their effectiveness, all the Colts needed was like another 12 yards, and they're in field goal range, guys. Not even maybe. Because they had it at the 48. That would have been a 65-yard field goal. I mean, what are the odds of that? But, I mean, they gained 12 more yards. Okay, now you're looking at like a 53-ish yard field goal. 12, 13 more yards, 52-yard field goal to tie the game. Send it into overtime. I mean, guys, that was really good. That was a good way to get the playoffs started, no doubt. So, a little bit of a breakdown here. Let's talk Colts first. Phillip Rivers finished up with pretty good stat line. He did produce well. He played a good game. He wasn't sacked at all during this game. We'll go 27 out of 46, 309 yards, no interceptions, threw for 2 touchdown passes. It's a nice, strong effort by Phillip Rivers, which is to be expected. Plenty of playoff experience. Jonathan Taylor, not his greatest game, but he was still effective. 78 yards on the ground on 21 carries and a touchdown run. Nyheim Hines, 6 carries, 75 yards. That was fueled by that 33-yard gain. Very nice job complimenting Taylor in Hines. That was a nice job there. Michael Pittman Jr. would have a carry for 11 yards. Jacoby Brissett, a carry for no yards. Rivers is credited with 1 carry, -1 yards. Michael Pittman Jr. was the leader in terms of receiving yards for the Colts today. Played a nice all-around game. Would have 5 catches for 90 yards. Jack Doyle played a good game. 7 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown reception. Zach Pascal had 3 catches for 37 yards and a touchdown. Trey Burton, 3 catches, 34 yards. T.Y. Hilton would go 2 catches, 32 yards. Mo Alley-Cox, 4 catches, 32 yards. Hines, out of the backfield, a catch, 8 yards. Taylor, out of the backfield, 6 yards receiving on 2 catches. So it was a nice, nice balance for the Colts. They played well offensively. It really boiled down to, and also what they were saying in the studio, situational football. That extra play here, that extra play there is what did it for Buffalo, guys. That's what made the difference, and Buffalo goes home with a victory and moves on to the second round. For the Bills, Josh Allen, another strong game. 26 out of 35, 324 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So there were no picks thrown in this game. Allen was sacked twice. Where he really raised a few eyebrows was on the ground. Of course, we saw a lot of that last year. And to a certain extent this year too. Allen would have 11 carries, 54 yards, and a touchdown run. He led the team in rushing today as well. Devin Singletary would have 21 yards on the ground on 3 carries. Little bit surprised they don't involve him a little bit more on the ground. Devin Singletary's a good player. The Bills really, other than Josh Allen's own efforts, really did not establish a running game. I mean, if you look at the average yards per carry, it was pretty decent. It was a little over 4 yards a carry between Singletary and Moss. But between the two of them, they only gained 42 yards. Zach Moss, 7 carries, 21 yards. So, I mean, between the two, you're looking at 10 carries, 42 yards. So you may want to just get both those guys a little bit more involved. I like Singletary. I think he's a good player. I mean, I'm just a little bit surprised at that. Stephon Diggs had a monster game. paying off huge for the Bills this year. If it weren't for Josh Allen, I mean, that's your MVP on offense right there. 6 catches, 128 yards. I mean, that's an awesome performance, including the 35-yard touchdown reception, which was huge for the Bills. Gabriel Davis, 4 catches, 85 yards. You had Cole Beasley back with 7 catches, 57 yards, playing that possession underneath role very well, does Cole Beasley. Moss would come out of the backfield, and he is a good receiver. 4 catches, 26 yards. Singletary, 3 catches, 23 yards. So the Bills did use their backs effectively out of the backfield in the passing game. They would combine with Moss and Singletary for 7 catches and 49 yards. Dawson Knox had a touchdown reception, and he would finish with 2 catches and 5 receiving yards. So, guys, I'm going to have to come back later in the weekend here with another video. I was going to pick another one of these exciting games, kind of recap that. This was a lot of fun. This was the game I just couldn't pull away from. I was trying to do laundry and stuff like that. I try to get things done on Saturday, and I just couldn't... I couldn't get myself away from NFL football. So if you're a Bills fan, congratulations to you. You move on to the second round. You Colt fans out there, you guys had a good season. Very respectable season, and a game which you really could have won. So I'm sure you're a little bit heartbroken here with the loss. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Go ahead, like and subscribe as well. This is Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.